Hi everyone, my name is Deborah Bennett and I'm a global product lead on Google's app campaigns. Today in this session, we look forward to sharing best practices and important product updates designed to help you better navigate shifting platform standards on iOS and confidently drive results with your iOS app campaigns. For many businesses around the world, finding and acquiring valuable iOS users remains both a significant priority and opportunity. However, with changes like last year's rollout of the App Tracking Transparency, or ATT framework on iOS, we know how complex and often challenging it can be to measure your app campaign performance. Therefore, to effectively adapt to these new iOS measurement paradigms, it will require an understanding of the measurement solutions available to you. In this video, we will cover the following. First, my colleague Josh Wilner, another global product lead on our team, will walk through two key measurement methodologies which have emerged and our perspective on them. Second, I will preview new measurement solutions you can expect from us this year to help support your business needs. And lastly, I'll share best practices and actions you can take today to help position your iOS marketing for success with Google App Campaigns. Now, I'll hand it over to my colleague Josh to dive into how iOS measurement has changed.
Hi everyone, my name is Josh Wilner, and I'm a global product lead working on privacy and measurement for Google App Campaigns. As the industry moves away from individual identifiers, in this case, with Apple's introduction of the ATT framework, multiple forms of measurement have emerged for iOS app install campaigns. One of these methodologies is Google's conversion modeling technology. At a high level, these model conversions, which we report in your Google Ads interface, use Google's AI to assess the performance of your campaigns when a subset of conversions cannot be directly linked to ad interactions. You can learn more about our conversion modeling principles in the linked resources. In addition to conversion modeling, other forms of measurement have also recently emerged, such as SK Ad Network, Apple's attribution solution. SK Ad Network helps ad networks and advertisers to measure their ad activity, such as impressions, clicks, and app installs on an aggregated level. In 2022, SK Ad Network became increasingly important to marketers in assessing their overall iOS performance. Furthermore, version 4.0 updates to SK Ad Network signal continued improvement in functionality, which we will cover later in this session. Knowing multiple forms of measurement exist today, I'd like to discuss the topic of reporting discrepancies. It is important to note that compared to Google's conversion modeling, SK Ad Network has core differences in underlying logic and settings, which can lead to reporting discrepancies between the two methodologies. To drive greater consistency, we are continuing to align our modeled conversions with SK Ad Network outputs. However, even with this, some level of discrepancy between the two are normal and expected. Let's walk through some of the core reasons why SK Ad Network discrepancies occur. The first is related to web-to-app measurement. Originally, SK Ad Network lacked attribution support for web-to-app user journeys. This is improving for Safari browsers with version 4.0 updates, but will still require some changes in ramp-up time before the gap is tightened. The second is conversion windows. Today, SK Ad Network utilizes various non-configurable conversion windows and other technology-specific logic, such as privacy-centric delays. For example, SK Ad Network's default click-through conversion window for app installs is currently fixed and set at a 30-day length. And SK Ad Network's window for post-install events involve various timers and privacy thresholds. On the other hand, Google's conversion modeling technology offers configurability in conversion window settings for both installs and post-install events to provide added flexibility, control, and insight. The length of the conversion windows within Google Ads may lead to some reporting discrepancies you may observe. The third is how each methodology defines a redownload. While SKAdNetwork utilizes a specific non-configurable definition of a redownload, Google and most app attribution SDK partners offer a few configuration options on what constitutes a redownload versus a new install, and these options may also lead to discrepancies across reports. Lastly, older versions of iOS and apps can also have an effect on discrepancies you may see. Though most new users have migrated to newer versions of Apple's operating system and various apps, there are still some users who have not updated, which can cause SKAdNetwork to be absent and or missing newer functionality. Now that we've covered some of the core differences between these two measurement methodologies, let's talk about how they are changing in 2023. This year, for model conversions in the Google Ads UI, we're continuing to improve upon the quality of our methodology through a series of deeper measurement integrations with SKAdNetwork data. As it relates to SKAdNetwork, early this year, we will support relevant version 4.0 conversions, starting with iOS 16 users. We look forward to these updates, and they may prove to represent your app campaign performance even more, specifically as it relates to the inclusion of web-to-app search inventory for Safari browsers. Please note that even after these changes, there may still be minor inventory representation gaps present, mainly stemming from Chrome and other forms of web-to-app inventory, users still running older versions of iOS, and other cases that we've covered. Other SKAdNetwork 4.0 updates include longer in-app event conversion windows to 35 days of activity, which may help you better assess the longer-term value of an app user. In 2023, our teams are committed to adapting to these measurement changes within our available SKAdNetwork reporting, both in Google Ads UI and with our app attribution partners. With these key differences in measurement methodologies in mind, we find that many app advertisers have adopted an SKAdNetwork-oriented measurement approach for both installs and in-app event measurement. In the future, if you'd like your iOS campaigns to more effectively drive in-app actions or a target return on your ad spend, we recommend you also implement the SKAdNetwork conversion value schema. The conversion value schema also acts as a means to measure in-app event performance within SKAdNetwork. So what is this? Simply put, your SKAdNetwork conversion value schema is a means to designate which in-app events matter to your business. You can think about your app's conversion value schema as a translator of sorts. It acts like a code, a series of numbers that designate discrete actions or buckets of user revenue. When configuring your schema, you will set a certain numerical value to indicate the in-app event or range of revenue that the user represented. We highly recommend getting started today on your own conversion value schema strategy. And here are 4 best practices to keep in mind when doing so. First, start by ideating on the sequence of in-app events and or values that matter most to your business. If unsure where to begin, try starting with an in-app funnel approach, which encodes both shallow and deep in-app events that matter for your business. Second, ensure that your conversion value schema is inclusive of the in-app events that you plan on optimizing your app campaigns for. And these events are also present as biddable conversion events within your Google Ads conversion settings. Third, if in-app purchase revenue is a priority for your business, utilize some of your conversion values to indicate buckets of in-app purchase revenues that may be relevant. Lastly, if you plan to utilize your conversion value schema across multiple networks, you can set it up with a Google-approved app attribution partner. Learn more about these partners in the linked resources. If you are a Google-only customer or intending to utilize your conversion value schema for Google only, we're also excited to share that later this year, Google Analytics 4 will be launching a solution to easily set up and utilize your schema. Alongside this, we'll also be introducing bidding components using your SKAdNetwork conversion value schema. Stay tuned for more updates on this later this year. Now that we've discussed SKAdNetwork as an emergent measurement methodology, let's review Google's conversion modeling and the role that it plays in app campaign measurement. Given platform changes, conversion modeling technology has also become incredibly important for marketers on iOS. Google's long-held expertise in AI and modeling helps to enable another holistic perspective on how iOS app campaigns are performing. Our conversion modeling technology is grounded in a diverse set of observable and privacy-safe signals, including first-party data like opted-in IDFA signals, data from platform APIs such as Apple's SKAdNetwork install and event signals, and lastly, similar datasets derived from aggregated behaviors and conversion patterns of users similar to those interacting with your ads. We hold our modeling methodology to a high standard and only report model conversions to you when we are confident that they have occurred as a result of ad interactions. As we mentioned before, you can learn more about our conversion modeling principles in the linked resources. And as mentioned throughout 2023, we will continue to improve upon the quality and consistency of our NUI modeled reporting by deepening our integrations with SKAdNetwork. On iOS, it is important to note that conversion modeling also plays a key role as the optimization engine for your app campaigns. To best improve the performance engine of your campaign, we recommend the following. First, evaluate implementing Apple's ATT prompt. Users who accept the prompt will increase your observed conversions, improving conversion modeling and campaign optimization. Second, adopt on-device conversion measurement, a privacy-preserving solution which enhances conversion modeling by improving the amount of observable conversions from your iOS app campaigns without any user-identifying information leaving a user's device. You can learn more about the solution and how it works in the linked resources. So far, we've discussed in detail two key measurement methodologies that exist today: Google's conversion modeling and Apple's SKAdNetwork solution. So now you must be thinking, which one is right for you? Our recommendation for measuring iOS app campaigns is as follows. If you're running app campaigns for install solely on Google, we recommend evaluating modeled conversion reporting to measure your campaign results. Noting the characteristics that we've discussed earlier in this session, you may also choose to utilize SKAdNetwork as a reference point for campaign performance as well. If you do choose to also evaluate SKAdNetwork reporting for your app campaigns as a reference point, please note that these measurement methodologies are distinct in their characteristics and may not match. You can view SKAdNetwork reporting either through Google Ads or your app attribution partner. If you're actively running app install campaigns across multiple networks, in order to more fairly evaluate performance across them, we encourage you to use raw cross-channel SKAdNetwork reports through a Google-approved app attribution partner. As stated earlier, not all app campaign inventory can be tracked via SKAdNetwork today. However, this is improving. You may also view model conversions reporting as a reference in order to round out your understanding of Google performance and make any optimizations. Now, we'll pivot a bit, and Deborah will walk you through some new solutions we're working on to help you navigate new measurement standards on iOS.
Thanks, Josh. I'm excited to walk you through several new iOS solutions we'll be rolling out this year. First, for iOS app install campaigns, our teams are working on further improving our tCPA and tROAS campaign types by more deeply integrating with Apple's SKAdNetwork data. As we discussed earlier, in the future, setting up and using your SKAdNetwork conversion value schema will be important in driving in-app events and values that matter to your business. Next, Google Analytics 4 will continue to play a key role in future-proofing your business amidst privacy changes. Specifically for iOS, our product teams are working to provide a way for you to evaluate performance across SKAdNetwork eligible advertising networks. Additionally, as mentioned earlier, if you plan to utilize your SKAdNetwork conversion value schema for Google solely, Google Analytics 4 will be launching new tools to help you do so. Finally, we're continuing to improve our newest privacy-centric measurement solution for app campaigns, on-device conversion measurement, to optimize campaign modeling with apps which have a majority of their user base signed in and providing email addresses. This year, we're also looking forward to introducing capabilities to privately match other forms of consented first-party data, such as phone numbers. Before we end, we'd like to highlight a few actionable next steps you can take to optimize your iOS app campaign performance and be set up for long-term success in this new landscape. Please also note that we've linked helpful resources below to recap and provide more detail on what we've covered today. So first, for better campaign measurement, keep the following in mind. Based on the information we provided today, evaluate if it makes sense to set up your app with the SKAdNetwork framework. For install measurement, integrate your app with SKAdNetwork for installs. Our Google Analytics 4 solution helps you do this automatically. For post-install event measurement, set up your conversion value schema. Today, you can do this through a Google-approved app attribution partner. In the future, Google Analytics 4 will also be supporting this SKAdNetwork functionality if you are solely using it for Google Ads. When setting up your schema, ensure that it is inclusive of the events you plan on optimizing your app campaigns for. To encourage accurate SKAdNetwork campaign reporting, consolidate campaigns to be under the 8 campaign limit for iOS, as more campaigns may obscure measurement within SKAdNetwork. Finally, to best position your app campaign for quality optimization and better performance, keep the following in mind. Evaluate if the ATT prompt is right for your app. More observable conversions may help with campaign optimization and modeling. If your app has significant user sign-in and/or collects consented email addresses, activate on-device conversion measurement through the Google Analytics for Firebase SDK. Lastly, ensure full creative diversity in your iOS app campaigns, inclusive of text, images, and video, to best reach high-opportunity users when the moment is right. That wraps up our webinar on iOS app campaigns. The guidelines and best practices we shared today will help you more confidently navigate platform changes and drive iOS campaign performance. As I mentioned previously, so you can easily review key points we shared today, please reference our guides and resources linked below. Thank you for joining, and look out for additional updates from us over the coming months.